up when you sign up. So that's the NFC picture. Let's go to the AFC, either or. Ninko, who will have more receiving yards in this game, Jamar Chase or Travis Kelce?
I'm going with Jamar Chase. I mean, that's the go-to guy, Joe Burrow. The chemistry there we've seen for many years now. So, again, I think that he's going to be the go-to guy in these big games for sure. He wins this battle.
RC, more rushing yards, Joe Mixon or Isaiah Pacheco?
I'm going with Joe Mixon. I'm going with Joe Mixon because that Brian Callahan will stick with the run game. He'll continue to give Joe Mixon the ball. And if you looked at what we saw against the Buffalo Bills, that was a huge part of this game, getting to the place that it got on the scoreboard. Joe Mixon was physical. They were physical up front, and that allowed them to protect Joe Burrow in the pass.
And then, Ninko, who will have more passing yards between these two spectacular quarterbacks, Burrow or Mahomes?
Well, I got to go with Joe Burrow. I mean, listen, I just said Chase was going to have a big game, so that means that the guy throwing the football is going to have a big game. The confidence right now, super high. You just look at this offense, they're rolling, so I'm going with Joe Burrow.
He may actually be redefining the concept of the confidence being super high. You may have already seen this on social media this week. In case you haven't, as Joe Burrow was carving up the Bills last weekend, here's a little of how it sounded on the field.
Pump fakes to the right. Now throws to the end zone. Caught by Hayden Hurst. Touchdown.
That's what I'm talking about.
Joe Burrow
he denied it, by the way. He's like, I didn't say that. Yes, you did.
The tape don't lie. Joe Burrow, I'm him. They were a perfect 3-0 against the Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs, by the way. Burrow's the only quarterback to beat Mahomes 3 straight times. But RC, let me come right to you on that. Joe Burrow yelling, I'm him, on the field. What do you think?
Well, I mean, right now he is Himothy Burrow, and we just have to accept it. When you're Joe Burrow, and basically every large game or big game you've been in for the last 4 years, you've won or you've played exceptionally well, you have to have that sort of feeling. When we speak of the top quarterbacks in the AFC coming into this season, it was Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, maybe not in that order, and then it was nobody else. You look at what Joe Burrow was able to do throughout the playoffs last year, and now going into Buffalo and beating Josh Allen after last year's AFC Championship, beating Patrick Mahomes, it's starting to look like everyone's chasing him at the position. But I'm going to say hold off on that for this reason. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. Let's not start mixing those words or making people get a little bit confused about that. But Joe Burrow has seemed to lead the best team. What defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo has done against the Josh Allens, has done against the Patrick Mahomes, does it seem to be able to be done to Joe Burrow against these other teams? When you look at the way he excelled late in the season against Kansas City, now in Buffalo last week, and being able to win in Kansas City, Joe Burrow is the quarterback that everyone seems to be chasing right now. And I believe winning in Kansas City once again in the AFC Championship only cements that, and now he becomes the Tom Brady of the AFC all over again.
Well, he does. Yeah. I mean, that's your guy. That's the comparison, right, Ninko? I mean, the confidence, the way it inspires his teammates to have that confidence. And you played with Brady all those years. Look, he's got a long way to go. No one is making the comparison to the totality of the career, but it feels similar.
Yeah, I think it's the confidence, and it's the teammates. They ask the teammates about it, and they say, because he is that guy. So I love it. I love the confidence. I love the production. And when you walk into a game knowing that you have the best guy on the field for your team, it gives you that much more confidence. So again, the kid's great, and we're going to watch this guy for many, many years to come.
And so, Diana, this is your game.
Yeah.
So unload the notebook. What are all the things that you have that we're what do we have been focusing on this weekend?
Ryan actually laid out really pretty much the story of this game, and it's going to be the Bengals defense and what they're going to do to stop Mahomes and this Chiefs offense. And Anarumo has done a really good job of making these adjustments. We see him do it a lot in the second half. And I know we've had this conversation in the league of, do you really make halftime adjustments? You know who does? The Bengals. Yeah. They do. And it shows, and they've had so much success with it. And the confidence they have going into Arrowhead is so impressive, just knowing what they've been able to put together. Because, guys, the Bengals are rolling. They look like they made the Buffalo Bills look like they weren't even playing football last week. Yep. They were running out the clock in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes left. So going into Arrowhead with that confidence, I think this is where the Bengals could have the edge. But of course, we'll see. This is going to be the ankle versus Lou in my mind.
Okay, let's put the picks up on the screen. Again, Diana's not picking games. She's covering this weekend. I'm the only one on Kansas City. RC, why the Bengals? Why do they win?
I just watched this team play defense in the last few important games of the season, both last and this team, and they've actually been sort of dominant. The way that they've controlled the line of scrimmage, the creativity in which they moved into and out of coverage, and also pressure, I think that's going to be the difference in this game. And the cool and the poise of Joe Burrow and his willingness to do whatever it takes to win. If it's 190-yard passing or if it's 125 yards passing, he's willing to do whatever it takes offensively to put his team in the best possible position to succeed. I believe that combination with Lou Anarumo and what he does defensively is the reason we see the Cincinnati Bengals in their second Super Bowl in as many years.
Why Cincy?
I love the defense. I like the pass rush. You're going against Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. We don't know what his ankle's going to be like. So if he can't move and he's in the pocket wounded, I know he can still throw and he's special. But the ability to get in and out of the pocket is what makes that offense so hard to stop.
I'm on KC for one reason and one reason only. Because everyone else is on the other side.
It's opposite.
And when everyone thinks something is going to happen, it never does. So we will see. I've got Mahomes and company on their way to the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, as we continue, I'm hoping soon to have Aaron Rodgers. Could he really be traded this offseason? Was yesterday a sign that something spectacular?
Live if he doesn't get the ball out quickly. So I'm interested to see what this offensive line and what Kyle Shanahan's going to scheme up to protect him, because we know one thing about Purdy. It's this: if he starts to act or try to be creative and try to move outside what Kyle Shanahan wants to do, that's when he gets in trouble, and we saw it last week. That's
an incredible statistic. Just think about that for a minute. They sack the quarterback almost 1 out of every 5 third downs. And I will add to that, they have right now 75 sacks on the season, including the playoff game. No other team in the league has as many as 60. So their pass rush is that much better than everybody else's, RC. So let's live in a world where they can make this a game that Brock Purdy has to stand up to that he has to handle that pass rush. Again, this is still a rookie with 7 starts under his belt. Do you think he can stand up to that?
Well, I don't think it's about Brock Purdy standing up to that. I think it's about the players around him making plays. Brock Purdy has over 1,600 yards passing. 52% of those yards are on yards after the catch. This isn't a dude that's holding on to the football so he can push it down the field. Brock Purdy is a guy that runs Kyle Shanahan's offense. Kyle Shanahan is creative and schemes up ways to get one-on-ones in the open field with all of these skilled ball carriers. Brock Purdy has to understand that it's about the run. And if the run takes over this game, if they can be effective in the middle of this Philadelphia Eagles defense, now you get into the play action, which gives you half boots, which gives you rolls, which gets you outside of this pocket. When you talked about how many sacks the Philadelphia Eagles have and you compared it to the rest of the NFL, I don't think that's the impressive stat. I think the impressive stat is the only 2 teams in the history of sack stat taking that are better than them are the 84 and 85 Bears. And Greeny, you remember those teams extremely well. Those are defenses that absolutely dominated football games, and that's the way the Philadelphia Eagles are playing up front. So it doesn't start with Brock Purdy. If this turns into a Brock Purdy go win it against this pass rush game, then the Eagles win this game easily. It's about Kyle Shanahan, it's about the run game, creativity, and yards after the catch.
What do you think of it, Nick, of this defense?
I think that you're going to have to put Purdy in longer down and distances. And the Eagles in 18 games, they're down and distance-wise, 3rd and long. Other teams are 16 for 97 in 3rd and long attempts. So what you're going to have to do is win on first down. If you win on first down and don't just let them have easy access, flat routes, check downs, to where you just take it into the rookie's hands, check it down quick, toss it for quick routes and reverses and all those gadget plays that Shanahan likes to play. You got to make them throw down the field in tight coverage from the pocket. That's how you create a turnover. The
49ers have been everybody's sexy pick now, it feels like, and they haven't lost a game in more than 2 months. But let's put the picks up on the screen. I feel like it's all kind of turning here We all like the Eagles. Diana's not making picks as she's covering the games this weekend, but we all like the Eagles, and frankly, almost everyone was leaning that way yesterday. So it does feel like it's kind of moving. At least the conventional wisdom is moving in that direction.
You're not even talking about the superficial element of Brock Purdy at the link.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking the Philadelphia Eagles at home. Nick Sirianni had a message to the fans. Go out there and just be you, and we know what you is.
You're married to one of them, so you know it intimately. The Eagles fans are a little different breed. Anyway, DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and this week new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in free bets instantly. Download